coming to the chat. What's happening? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you're not Black and intelligent, you may want to get the fuck out. This is the place where we talk about issues in an honest way, in an authentic way, and also in an intelligent way, so that we can make our people better. As you come into the chat, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Now today, I have the great honor of speaking with the one and only Willie D. Willie D's he's a hip hop artist, but that's what you might know him as. But you should know him also as an activist, as a strong Black man, and as a good brother all around, a businessman, a thinker, and everything else. So first, I want to ask my brother, how you doing today, man?
Man, you know, I woke up. Anything else can be negotiated.
All right. Well, I'm glad you woke up, and glad to see you, man. You know, there's a lot happening right now, a whole lot happening. And a lot of y'all saw, did anybody, tell me in the chat, if you guys are watching the chat, did anybody just see the interview that Ice Cube did on CNN? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you just saw Cube on CNN. He was holding it down for Black people, doing a great job. You know, we just had him on, he was just on the phone a second ago. And we were happy that, you know, that this brother is really representing for the Black community. So Willie, you saw some of what's been going on with Cube. He's been meeting with the Democrats and the Republicans. He put the contract with Black America together with a team of experts. He didn't just do it all by himself, but he took the lead on this and really took a strong personal interest in Black people. What do you think about what you've seen going on in terms of the controversy, right? A lot of people give him a hard time because he met with both Biden and Trump, and he made it real clear from the beginning, the middle, and the end that he was meeting with everybody because he's representing the Black community, representing contract with Black America. He wasn't a Trump guy, he wasn't a Biden guy, he was a Black man. What are you seeing in terms of how do you feel about what Cube is doing and the reaction that you're seeing from people around the world?
First of all, anytime somebody is targeted for anything, the first thing that I do is look at their record. Cube has a consistent track record of riding for Black people, riding for the Black community. That has never been a question. Those who know, know. The problem is we got a lot of new motherfuckers out there running their mouths who don't know. And they're social justice warriors who are just popping off, and they're emotional and they just ride on anybody. They ain't got no respect for their elders. They ain't got no respect for the people that paved the way that came before them. They're just very disrespectful. And that's the climate that we're in with this social media thing. Now, having said that, we have also some of our, you know, elders who have spoken out against Cube. And you know, one of the ones that surprised me the most was DL. Now, DL is my boy. That's my homie. Straight up, that's a friend of mine. Long time. I've been knowing DL almost as long as I've been knowing Cube. And both of those brothers are solid. A couple months ago, they came for DL, talking about DL cancel. Now, DL says something that they agree with, and now they want to praise DL and cancel Cube. Like, these motherfuckers be switching like clothes, man. They just, you know, every day it's just whatever they feel like, you know, they change with the weather. DL, I gave the benefit of doubt because I know DL. I know his character. I know that he's a man of valor. And so if he does something that I personally may not agree with, I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt and allow him that latitude to make a mistake that I might feel if I feel that it's a mistake, because he may not feel it's a mistake. So I would give him that latitude because he earned it. He's earned character equity in my eyes. So I would give him that space, and I would give him that latitude for error. So when they started talking about DL, I was like, man, kiss my ass, you know? You know, ain't no canceling DL. You can't cancel DL Hughley. He put in too much work. You know, you can't cancel Ice Cube. He put in too much work. Hey, look here. If you want to cancel, Ice Cube, you know what? I'm gonna tell you straight up right now. Fuck you, because I'm next. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna cancel Ice Cube, I know I'm next because I talk a lot of shit. You know, and I you know, I air people out all the time. So I know it's just a matter of time. You trying to cancel Ice Cube, I know it's just a matter of time before you try to cancel Willie D. So I'm gonna be preemptive with my strike and just straight up tell you, fuck you right now, because you can't cancel Ice Cube to me. You know, he can't be canceled. The man put in too much work. And that's not just coming from the standpoint of a friend, because I don't even make friends with people that don't have good character. You dig what I'm saying? So that come off the strength of who he is as a man first, because I have had, being a celebrity myself, being in that entertainment space, a lot of my friends happen to be in that same space. And so we're in that type of, we have that, we're in a very peculiar space, whereas when people that are, our friends tend to have large platforms. From time to time, they are going to use those platforms in a matter that people don't agree with. Sometimes our friends are going to reveal to us a side of them that we didn't know existed, and they're going to disappoint us. And at some point, we're going to have to decide what's more important, the friendship or the person's character, right? So, you know, yeah.
What's funny, man, is, you know, with this whole environment where, like, I'm so offended by what you think that I don't want to be your friend no more. Like, people got to really think about that, what that really means, man. Like, I didn't grow up in a space like that. You know, like most of us, and tell me in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Most of us grew up with friends and relatives who just didn't agree with us. You know, like, you know, just, it's like if I'm a Lakers fan and you a Sixers fan, or I think you know, so and so is the best quarterback in the NFL, and you think somebody else is a better quarterback. It's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's just diversity of opinion. That's supposed to make us better. We ain't supposed to all have the same fucking opinion, right? And I think people don't understand that. Like you and I, like if you and I are talking, I'm sure that I have said 1,000 things that you didn't agree with. You know,
well, not a thousand, maybe a couple dozen. You know, not 1,000. Ain't that bad.
Whatever it is, man. It's like, but that's what freedom looks like.
Yeah,
that's what respect looks like, man. How many of us have ever sat down with one of our parents, man? I sit down. The man I probably admire the most is my father. You know, my father says a whole lot of shit that I think is bullshit. I say things that he thinks is bullshit, and he'll tell me, be like, "That's some bullshit." And then I'll make my point. He makes his point, and then we go back to being father and son. Like I'm not gonna cancel my dad. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna cancel my friends. Like, so when people talk about that whole canceling shit, that tells me that you're flimsy from the beginning. You know, you're not really sturdy in your relationship anyway. And also, here's another thing, man. All that like cancel talk, if you really think about it, how many people have really been truly canceled? Like
the problem is this, boys. They're always trying to cancel motherfuckers that can't be canceled. You know, like if you want to cancel somebody that you have authority over. You know, like, do something like that, because again, like you trying to go for Q, you know, that ain't gonna work. You know, like he's fortified. You know what I'm saying? And he's put the work in over the year. I mean, we talking about 30 plus years, bro. We ain't talking about some new dude just jumping out. And you know, that's what disappointed me. You know about what DL said about the the records. You know, like it would be different if Ice Cube made records where he wasn't really talking about anything. If he would have just been like talking about, hey, you made three jamming records and they booty songs, that's different. But the dude record is a blueprint for life. If you go through those albums, you can actually survive, you can thrive, you can learn, you can grow. The record has all the information. His records have all the information that you need to survive in this world. They're in those records. So because he's making records, his messages in the records does not minimize the message, because it's the same message as if Malcolm X was speaking, or if Farrakhan was speaking, or any economist, or a psychologist, a sociologist. Those messages are in that music, man. You listen to that music. That Cube music is a different level. It's substantive. You know what I'm saying? It has substance. So you can't just discount an Ice Cube and just say, oh, he's just an artist. You know, sit down and make a rap song or whatever, or you know, go back to Hollywood and make a movie. No, he's deeper than that. So you can't quantify an Ice Cube like that. You can't do that to Ice Cube. There's a lot of other artists out there you can do that too, but not Ice Cube.
Well, you know what's interesting, man, is like, when I was talking to Dr. Paul Anderson the other day, you know, we're doing this whole Powernomics masterclass right now, and it's like, I remember he talked about the origins of Black people kind of having a place, like, you know, like your place is to, you know, entertain, or is to serve us, right? And as long as you are in your place, we love you to death. But the minute you go off script, the minute you step out of your place, then it's like, okay, all right, Negro, we need you to shut up and dribble, or we need you to shut up and just go back to what you were doing, right? And in a way, it's kind of like how the Black man and the Black woman has kind of been like, to some extent, the white man's whore. Meaning that if you think about a man who kind of looks at a, you know, for example, you just talk about a hoe versus a housewife, right? If somebody's in a certain category in your mind, you don't allow them to step out of that category, right? It's like as Black people, we have a place that they want us in, and you step out of that place, people are like, well, what are you doing? Now, because here's the deal, right? If Cuba come out speaking, Democratic Party talking points, if he had been doing what everybody else is doing, you know, okay, everybody go out and vote, make sure you go out and, you know, get Trump out of office and all that, they wouldn't have said a word. You know, there's 1,000 celebrities, or at least a few hundred, that are out there that are speaking the same tune, singing the same song. And so when this one guy steps out and goes in a different direction, and he's not saying anything radical, you know, like Cube is different from Kanye. You know, there were some good elements to what Kanye was doing, but everything Kanye was doing, some of it I was kind of like, I don't know if this is really.
Well, in America, the truth is radical.
There you go. Elaborate. Go ahead.
Well, for instance, if you go out like in life, like if you go out and you're having a bad day, let's say, you know, you got into a fender bender on your way to work, shit, you're late to work, kids having problem at school, you get to work, you get in the elevator, somebody say, hey, good morning. You say, good morning. No fucking good morning. I'm having a fucking terrible morning. But we say good morning anyway, because it's the polite thing to do. You know, we can be at a gathering, you know, and somebody starts, you know, bringing up, you know, politics or whatever. And you know what the truth is, you have a certain position, but you hold it because you don't want to offend someone. You know, you don't want to offend them. Maybe you just don't want to offend them because of the social status that you share with them, or perhaps you don't want to offend them because you're going to lose some type of advantage, you know, some type of, financial advantage or whatever. So we oftentimes we don't want to rock the boat, so we go along to get along. And I think that even though what Cube did, he stood out on his own, I think that that's one of those things that is admirable as long as you're coming from a righteous position. You don't have to be right, just righteous. And I think that Cube is a righteous man. Mm. And that is the difference between an Ice Cube stepping out and, you know, going out there all by himself, as opposed to a Kanye West. You know, Kanye West is flip-flop. You know, I feel this way, now I don't, and I apologize, and yo, man, and I'm tripping, and they just mad because I'm a genius, and you know, like all this shit. You know, you don't know where this dude is going. You know, he over there. Oh, my mama died. I'm crazy. I ain't crazy. I'm smart. I'm really a genius. You know, it's everything. You know, and so that's totally different from a guy that's been consistent, a guy that has been reliable, you know, a guy that has been respected in this game. And we're talking about the entertainment game, especially. I mean, Q got entertainment, respect, and street cred. So it's like people when I say street cred, people in the streets respect him. You know, people in the streets respect Q. People in the suites respect him. But, you know, people should not get caught up. I believe, like, oftentimes we get too caught up in, you know, the emotional aspect of the issues, you know, as opposed to the facts, you know, the reality of the situation. Is like Q was saying, like, we can't afford to continue this course that we're on. The trajectory that we're on right now as a race in America is not going to work socially, economically. We're going to be extinct as a people. We got to get this shit together immediately, or we're going to be out of here, man. You know, so I can understand where people got hot about Q going to meet with the Republicans, you know, or the Trump administration, you know, but that was people that was mad that he met with the Biden administration. But the reason why they were mad I think a lot of people was mad about the Trump thing is because you can't negotiate with terrorists. Donald Trump is a terrorist. So you cannot negotiate with terrorists. You know, having your own, you know, having our own table would be cool, but enterprise doesn't operate in a vacuum, you know, and this is what people understand. This is what Cube understands. Enterprise does not operate in a vacuum. You know, to control the table, you also have to be able to defend it. As long as we don't have arms, we won't have autonomy or control over markets, even those markets built solely on our labor and ingenuity. Cube is a big part of that market that has been built on our labor and ingenuity. You know, he's made hundreds of millions of dollars for studios, and he's employed and made many, many people famous. He put many, many people on. A lot of the people that's talking shit about Ice Cube ain't put nobody on. They ain't responsible for nothing but complaining and talking shit. That's it. The man has been building for 30-something years. You know, he's been putting people on for 30-something years. He's been sticking his neck out for 30-something years. So it's easy to just jump into a comment section and start, you know, popping off. Drop a little old hot video. Oh man, fuck you, he canceled, you know, and make jokes about the songs, and you know, dropping little comments about his certain sayings that he have and all this type of shit. You got to get a little bit more original than that. You know, going back, grabbing, you know, song titles and all that old shit. You know, like I just look at it like, man, I look at the totality, man's, I look at the totality of a man's work, the body of his work, about his character, you know, the extended version of his character, not the present, not the moment, not the momentary character. You know, I look at the extended character, and he been solid the whole time. So even if he do get out of pocket, I know this is a huge time. I know this is a huge moment in history, and this is, you know, perhaps the greatest election cycle of our lifetime, you know. And I thought about that. That's the reason why I changed my mind about voting. You know, I was not going to vote at all. And I thought about it. I was like, man, this is the most important election cycle of our lifetime. And, you know, and I get it. You know, every 4 to 8 years, they come to us like trying to scare us with this boogeyman shit. Oh, the Republican, they're going to get us. We got to vote. We got to go to the polls, man. Every 4 to 8 years, it's the same old, same old, same old, same old, same old. And, but I thought about it, man. And I was like, you know, this is the most important election cycle of our lifetime. And I can't sit this one out. So I didn't sit it out. I voted, bro. But I can't knock any Black person who decides that they're not there. I just can't knock them. You know, I made a decision for me, but I made the decision that I could sleep with, that I could live with, that I think is best for me, my family, and my community. And so each of us have to do the same thing. We have to make the decision that we think that we can live with. If we don't want to vote, if you don't want to vote, you don't feel like you're there, you don't feel like what Biden did with that 95 crime bill, that 94 crime bill is excusable, then, you know, go with Trump. If you feel like Trump is a racist and he's in for you and he's gonna sick them Proud Boys on your ass the first chance he get, then, you know, you go with Biden. Or if you feel like both of them doesn't have a redeeming bone in their bodies, hey man, sit it out, you know? So, but I think that we have to get to a point to where we need to be able to identify our allies. Cuba is an ally. So we have to identify our allies. And once you identify an ally, understand that none of us are perfect and we're going to make mistakes. But if a person is an ally, then that is latitude for error, you know, perceived error, right? There is latitude for that. And if that happens, you don't just throw that person away. First of all, in this country, we black people, we can't afford any more fucking enemies. These motherfuckers hate us here, bro. They fucking literally hate us. The Congress, they hate us, bro. You can't tell me they don't hate us with all these damn laws that they put in place against us and the type of decisions that the Supreme Court make over and over and over again. You can't tell us that these people don't hate us with the way that they redlined and the way that they, first of all, brought us into slavery and then Jim Crow and then the red line and then blew up Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, when we pulled ourselves by the bootstraps and we were self-sufficient, independent. We had our banks, we had our hotels, we had our jails, we had our own, literally our own investment firms, our own. We had our own schools. We had everything. Black, totally owned. We was operating with complete. Complete autonomy. And bam, them jealous motherfuckers came through with guns and bombs and shit and decimated the whole fucking city. And Tulsa wasn't the only city. We had many cities that were flourishing across this country. Tulsa was just the most popping one, you know, and they decimated it out of jealousy. And it's like Cube said, there are people in this country that are dedicated to making sure that Black people remain a permanent underclass in this country. And I do believe that Donald Trump is one of them.
There you go.
Donald Trump hates, I personally believe that Donald Trump really does. I think Donald Trump is intimidated by Black people. I think he's intimidated by Black people. And even though I was no fan of Obama's, you know, I get on Trump ass every chance I get because he rolled on Obama, and Obama is black first, but whatever he did, he black first. And the only reason why I believe Trump was attacking him from day one is because he was black. And he couldn't stand the fact that he had to take orders from a black man being in that leadership role. That's why they came up with that Make America Great Again. And that's why before Make America Great Again, their slogan was, we want our country back. Them motherfuckers hate us, bro. Bottom line, they hate us.
Well, so, I do agree with you. You know, let me say this, man. I think that their hatred, it's really like we acknowledge the hatred. So to me, whether you hate me or you just dislike me, I know that you are not going to save me, right? And I think that that's something where it's like how much they hate us and whether they hate us. That's important to know, but I think that's not as relevant to me as just the fact that all we got is ourselves, and it sounds like that's what you're saying as well, that we got each other, and we have to really focus on that.
My point.
And what I really think is, you know, where I get on board with that. And first of all, I want you to know that, and I want everybody to know this. My position on deciding to vote actually shifted. I was a non-voter, and I decided, you know what? Just because I don't need to stand on that non-voting rock. I'm letting people know. I never told other people what to do, but I have told people I do plan to vote. I'm just not I'm gonna write in the candidate for the presidency. I'm not voting for Biden or Trump because I'm not going that far, but I will vote. Local elections, all that shit. You know, so I think that that's a way, because I think at the end of the day, man, it's like when I hear, you know, I hear what you say, and you and I are friends. You got what Ice Cube is saying. You got what DL might believe, whatever he believes. You got Roland Martin, who's in a little bit of a different space from me. I think it's really important, man, that we understand that we limit ourselves if we get too caught up in turf wars and factions within the Black community, right? So, for example, you got, you know, Yvette Carnell and ADOS sitting over there, right? And I heard Cube say, he mentioned ADOS, you know, and my thing is like, whatever differences I have with the leadership, I don't have a problem with the membership, it's more so the leadership. I can let all of that shit go because I'm not gonna win if I'm fighting against motherfuckers who agree with me on at least 40% of the issues. You know what I mean? Like, and I hope that everybody's maturity level and strategy level can rise to the point where, for example, you have people that believe in reparations who have attacked Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics. What sense does that make? Ain't you got a bigger enemy out here? Can't you? I mean, you got white supremacists out here. You got people out here that hate your guts. Why not just say, you know, I don't see everything he's saying. I'm not eye to eye on everything, but I'm going to stand down on that issue for the sake of unity. And what right. I like about what Cube is doing, man, is I feel like, I mean, let's just keep it 100, man. I mean, he's Ice Cube, right? He's iconic in what he does. He's an extraordinary career. He's got a platform. I got a platform. You got a platform. We all got our platforms, and they're good. You know, we got hundreds of thousands of people and all that. He's got millions. You know, so when I see this guy that's got millions of people, and then a bunch of those people hate his gut, like they're pissed at him for being 100% Black. I see this, right? And I called you because I wanted to talk to you, man, because I know what you're made of, and I said, okay, this brother is running the ball down the field, and we should block for him. You know what I mean? Like fuck it. I don't need to be the king of shit. You know what I mean? I don't care about that. Like if it means I gotta get in line with something I believe in and stand down and literally let go of every single petty beef. Like Roland, I tweeted Roland. Roland said some shit. You know, Boyce is a dumbass. Dr. Boyce is a dumbass. And I said, Roland, I know you call me a dumbass on your show. You should just call me a dumbass over the phone. And I respect you as a journalist. I don't agree with a lot of the shit that you say, but you are welcome on this platform at any time. And I'm going to try to find my best to find a reason not to make you my enemy, because I got bigger enemies out here, right? And I think that that's really important, because one of the ways that they destroy Black people is divide and conquer. You know, and
that's always been the play. That's always been the play. I'm not saying that this is rolling, but I will say that there are people out there, there are Black people out there that's in this so-called pro-black space. They always say pro-black anytime you're riding for black people. You got to be pro-black. You can ride for white people and you're just white. You know, you ain't pro-white, you're just white. But anyway, for lack of better words or whatever, black people that are in this pro-black space or whatever, there are people that are in that space. They're agents. They're really not for black people, but they fool black people because they'll talk about black shit, right? They'll talk about black issues. They'll say things like, talk about how the white man this, man, and the police brutality, man, you see how they did the brother, man, woo, 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 woo. And then they always finding black people that's in that same space to try to tear down. If you're in that space, in my opinion, you're good with me. If you make a mistake, you're good with me. I ain't gonna do you. I ain't gonna publicly come at you because I know what you up against. If I sincerely see you in that space and I see you riding for us, I know what you up against because I know what I'm up against. I'm showing my face out here. I'm out here. They know me. They know where I'm gonna be at. I'm announcing where I'm gonna be at, and I'm showing up and I'm putting it in their face. And I'm strapped everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm ready, okay? And my people ready. So I know what you up against because I'm up against the same thing. DMs crowded with people coming at you all kinds of ways. Some of them black, some of them you don't know who they are. You don't know what kind of people they are. All in the comments. You squabbling black folks mostly, then you squabbling anybody. These black folks, and these are the people that you out here riding for. But like I say, it's enough of them out there that are agents, and they fool you by throwing out the black piece, throwing out the poop, the power, throwing out the, throwing out the police did the brother wrong, and we got to come together and group economics and da-da-da. And then they just spend so much time attacking black people that's in the same space. So how in the hell are we gonna be able to come together if we keep fractioning off? Because what happens is that a lot of I would say most people are intelligent enough to follow our platforms, that follow these spaces where they're trying to get information. They're intelligent enough to say, man, I wish they just cut that shit out because I love both of them. I rock with both of them. I wish they just cut that shit out. And I've, been on different people's platforms and stuff that be beefing against each other that are black. And I've read some of the comments, so I kind of know the vibe myself. So most people get it, and they're gonna be like, well, I'm still going, Boyce come down, I'm going to support Boyce. Roland comes to town, I'm gonna go support Roland. They get it. But there are others that are gonna just pick a side. They're gonna say, man, because I love Boyce, I can't rock with Roland. I love Boyce. I'm just gonna be dedicated to Boyce. And boom, you're picking sides. But both of y'all got the same end goal, and that is to uplift the black community. The ultimate goal is the same. The ultimate objective is the same. How we get there may be different, but we're trying to get to the same place. So I might get there, and I might take the back roads to get there. You might take the freeway to get there. I might take a helicopter, you might take a plane. I might walk, you might run. I might, take 50 breaks, trying to get to the destination. You may go straight to the destination without stopping, not taking no breaks, not taking no type of rest breaks or nothing, just going straight on through. You see, there's various ways to get there. So when somebody chooses a different way to get there, you shouldn't have a problem with that. The problem should happen if they're trying to go somewhere else, if they're not trying to get to that same destination. That's when the problem should come. That's when you should have a problem. So, you know, you don't see me like in those type of spaces. I'm not going after people that I know that are in those spaces that I know that ride for our people for real. We cannot afford any more enemies. We got enough. You know, America has done a great hit job on our image worldwide. They don't need no help. The American media has been in cahoots with the government ever since they brought the first slave over here. Even before that, they've been in cahoots, you know, to make sure that we look bad globally. That way, people, when they look at the situation, they can say, well, you know, I guess they probably deserved it. So that's how America operate. They operate that way because if they do us, when they do us dirty, you know, they can justify the mistreatment of us by tarnishing our image. They tarnish our image globally, then, and people see us get murdered and slaughtered in the streets. They can say, well, they must have deserved it. The people are savages, you know, but they're not taking into account that the American media has played a significant role in doing that, and they have a direct investment in making us look bad.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by the way, everybody, I'm talking to Willie D, and we're talking about a lot of stuff, mainly what Ice Cube is up to, and this kind of weird, untimely, almost like an attack that it seems the DL Hughley took real issue with what Ice Cube did when he met with the Trump and the Biden campaigns. Do me a favor, guys, real quick, hit the thumbs up button. Everybody right now, please hit that thumbs up button to help us in the algorithm. And also number 2, don't forget the All Black National Conventions next weekend. And we got a whole lot of really great people coming through from Tariq Nasheed all the way across to Vicky Dillon and everybody else. Now, Willie's invited. I'm trying to pin Willie down with his schedule. But either way, either way, the door's wide open for you all the time, man, for sure. And so if you be one all black all the time, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. Hit the thumbs up button. So let me show you something, man, real quick. I'm gonna share with you. Cube kind of struck back at DL a little bit. It seemed like he took some offense to what DL put out. Where DL shared an article from Politico, and the title of the article was "The Inside Story of How Ice Cube Joined Forces with Donald Trump." And so Cube wrote, "Join forces. Stop pushing these bullshit headlines." So it looks like Cube took some issue with DL even sharing that article. Why do you think that particular article offended Ice Cube so much?
I mean, shit, somebody talk some shit about me, I'm gonna be offended. That's simple as that. You know, if you call me out, you know, it's personal. But I didn't. That's my first time even seeing that. I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on. You know, like I think, you know, before I really even speak anymore on DL, you know, I need to really. I'm gonna reach out to the brother, and you know, I'm gonna reach out to him. But I don't know what's going on there. But like I said, I know that, you know, I ain't seen nothing but solid from DL and Cube all the time I've been knowing both of them. You know, like I don't know any other dude, you know. I don't know any other way. So this is why I say I'm willing to give my brothers the benefit of doubt first before we get into that type of stuff, you know. I would just and I know it I'm a hold off on commenting on DL any further until I have a conversation with DL.
Yeah, I think that's smart. I think it's very smart, very strategic, and I don't even mean to even put you in an awkward position by even bringing that up. You know, I bring it up just because I'm a little bit confused, and I think if I was gonna throw in my 2 cents on it, my question would be, what are we gonna unify around? You know, do we unify around whether I'm a Democrat or you're a Republican, or do we unify around the fact that I'm a black man, you're a black man, and maybe we have different approaches to solving the same problem? Like you said, you know, I might take a plane, somebody else might take a bus, somebody else might walk. But if we're going to the same destination, maybe rather than thinking about the things that divide us, we can start with the shit that brings us together. So that's why, for example, every time I start my podcast, I reiterate what our platform is about. Be one. Are you black first? Hashtag be one. That's how we know if you're in the right place. If you're not, if you can't put black people first, then we shouldn't have a conversation, because you're a different time. We're not built the same way, right? Because I would argue that if somebody comes in here, right? And so let's say one person comes in and they voted for Biden, somebody else voted for Trump, somebody else ain't voting, somebody voted, and then there's somebody who voted for Kanye West, right? But if we all start by agreeing that we want to do what's best for the black community, like that's what matters by any means necessary, to use Malcolm's words, then we can have a conversation. You know, we can. Think about this. We know this from sports. When you play football, everybody is not going to play the same fucking position. You know, everybody's not going to be the quarterback. Everybody's not going to be the wide receiver. You need diversity. You need different players playing different roles. Basketball, you need the point guard. And the point guard's going to have a different skill set from the center, right? So what
Great analogy.
So what I think we got to do is understand that when it comes to building our community, we need everything. When you look at people, when you look at white folks and the way they amass their power throughout the world, they have thousands of different angles through which they promote white supremacy. You know what I mean? Like they got engineers, they got social workers, they got doctors, lawyers, priests, and all of them, even when they disagree, there's certain codes that they all agree on from the beginning. Like, okay, we're all American. We all want to push for dominance of America throughout the world. You might be liberal, I might be conservative, but there's a certain point that they will only go so far in their attacks on each other. Like you'll never see Nancy Pelosi and say Trump hate each other so much to the point where they destroy their own power. At the end of the day, Pelosi gonna be a millionaire, Trump's gonna be a billionaire, and they still gonna be white. They still gonna have America. They're still gonna have trillions, right? So I think that what we got to figure out is like, what is our fucking baseline, and where are our serious conversations and where are our secondary conversations, and that's what a powernomics kind of mindset does. When Dr. Anderson talks about this type of stuff, he said, look, all these other issues that divide you, those are what they call horizontal issues. I'm straight, you gay. I'm a man, you a woman. I believe, in closed borders, you believe in open borders for immigration. Who gives a fuck? Like that's secondary, because at the end of the day, we got to start with a baseline. Or like if LeBron is playing against the Oklahoma City Thunder, in that moment on the court, we are adversaries, right? We're gonna go at it. But after the game is over, they become friends again, right? So for black people, I think we should look at this Democrat-Republican stuff as a game. Okay, it's a sport. I'm a Democrat, you're a Republican. We're gonna debate it all day. You're gonna tell me how great you think Trump is. I'm gonna tell you why I think Biden's my guy or whatever. But then when it's done, we still family. We go back to being family. And that's not hard to do. And I know it's not hard to do because I got liberals and I got conservatives in my family, and I love them all. And it's like it is funny. It's funny to watch, man. Like I'll listen to, man. I got one relative that watches Fox News all day. Every time I talk to her, she's repeating everything, like in the programming that's on Fox News in terms of how they program your mind. She'll recite word for word what she heard Sean Hannity say and all that, Tucker Carlson, all that bullshit. Then I'll talk to somebody from MSNBC, and it's the same damn thing. And we all gonna die from coronavirus if we step outside our house and all this other stuff. and I just kind of sit in the middle, and I'm just like, wow, this is fascinating to watch. But I think at the end of the day, man, you can't take this shit too seriously. You can't go out losing friends over this. And you can't forget where your number one loyalty has to be. Your number one loyalty has to be black people. If you're doing something different from me, but I know you're doing it for the right reasons, I'm not going to deal with you the same way I would deal with somebody who is an overt enemy to the people.
Exactly. And that is an excellent point. And that's why I keep bringing up Kanye, because Kanye is a white supremacist. I mean, people got to understand that you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist. All you have to do is to adopt their ideology. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If you have that same mindset, if you regurgitate white supremacist talking points, you're a white supremacist. Candace Owens is a white supremacist. She regurgitates white supremacist talking points. You know, if she was just a black Republican, I still turn my nose up at her. But you know, I wouldn't attack her. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, well, you know, she just ain't figured it out yet. You know, but you know, but I wouldn't attack her. I wouldn't attack her. But I know that the reason why I go after her is because she comes after us every chance she gets. She never says anything disparaging about the white community. Never. She never says anything disparaging. Kanye never says anything disparaging about the white community. You know, if he's such a free thinker, well, we know that white people make mistakes too. We know that white people got killers, you know, in their race also. We know that they got pedophiles and lazy people and people on welfare. And we know that they got gang members and liars and thieves and kidnappers and adulterers. We know that they got all of that. But Kanye ain't never seen a white person do nothing bad because he ain't never, at least he's never spoken on it. But every time he got something disparaging to say, it's about black people. Same thing with Terry Crews. Terry Crews, he wakes up in the morning. What these niggas doing? I can't stand them. Let me see what nigga doing something positive I can say something bad about. Let me see what they like. Let me see what they like in the day. Oh, I got to bring them down now. You know, Massa, did I do good? That's all they do, bro. That's why I don't rock with them, because their hustle, their whole hustle is to bring black people down. When your criticism of the black community outweigh your contribution, you will start with C rhyme with Moon. You did, you know, like, so that's why that's how it's easy to tell the ones that are out there, they're blatant with it. You know, most of them, they're really blatant with it. Like when your criticism of the black community outweigh your contribution to the black community, man, you're not for us. I don't care how black you look. I don't care what your skin color is, what your tone is, you're not for us. And even if you're not black, if your criticism of the black community outweigh your contribution to the black community, you ain't for us. I don't care how liberal you are, how much of a white Democrat you are, you're not for us if your criticism of the black community outweigh your contribution to the black community.
Wow. Well, you know what, man? I think that's a good measuring stick, right? Like you think about it, right? People like, for example, Farrakhan. Farrakhan is conservative. He's a religious leader, among other things. But people give him a pass on any criticism he gives because they know about his contribution, right? You know, it's like your what they call. I think I heard a pastor say one time. He said, "Before you correct, you must connect." So before you come in criticizing, you got to show love first. You know, right. we will only take criticism from people that we know will love us. Like our mother can criticize us all day because she fed us every day.
Right.
So I think with a lot of the celebrities that have criticism of the black community, the criticism might be accurate. But my question is, have you been feeding black people every day? And I think that's something you can say about a Candace Owens. And but here's what's interesting, right? You can say that about a lot of the Negroes on the Democratic side too. You know, you ain't really feeding black people.
That's true.
You serving massa, you know, you looking out for your boss. So whether your boss is Trump or your boss is Biden, you know, when you're looking out for your boss more than you're looking out for your people, nobody's going to hear what you have to say. You got to earn the right to come and tell me what the fuck to do. Like if you're going to come here and talk shit about what we're doing wrong, and or better yet, like Candace Owens is interesting because she has almost like a playbook of just, you know, like very accurate triggers that she knows, trigger language she knows, where she can recite word for word all the failings of the Democratic Party, right? Everything that you ever want to know about how the Democrats have fucked black people, she's on point with that. She knows that like a script. And, you know, because I listen to her talk and I'll be like, yeah, she's right about that. She's right about that too, right? But at the end of the day, at the end of all those sentences, it ends with, and your solution
criticism about black folks.
Right. Well, it ends, you know, every critique she makes ends with go vote for Trump. So is that all you got? Like, is that all the fuck you got? You know, you and your white husband, you know, you're like sitting over here talking about, like, okay, so you just a Negro with a job. You're just a fucking overseer who's trying to steal, or you just another pimp trying to steal hoes from a different pimp, right? And my argument is that black people don't need a pimp. We need freedom. Like freedom to me means that if you are in a car, you own the car, you build the car, you're driving the car, and you decide which way the car is going to go. You do all those things. That's freedom. So when we have a conversation about our people, we have a conversation about the things that matter to us, we should be driving that conversation, period. It drives me crazy that all these Negroes talking about COVID or talking about, what was the other shit they talk, even the police shooting thing, right? Those are bad. Those are issues, right? COVID's real. Police shootings are real. But I also hear a lot of Black people talking about things like reparations. They won't even fucking say the word reparations. They won't even say the word. They have told their soldiers, like, do not even say the word, because we don't even open up that conversation. And millions of Black people are like, why are you not even saying the word? They won't talk about criminal justice reform in a broad perspective. 50 people a year approximately get murdered by the police. Maybe it's 70, maybe it's 100. I don't know what the number is, but
I can tell you it's in the hundreds.
Okay, it's in the hundreds, right? Black people, Black men, I don't know. I'd like to see the stat, right? And that's bad, right? We got to fix that, right? For sure. But I know what's in the hundred thousands is the number of Black men they have put in prison under that crime bill. Like, you got to go fix that shit. Like, if you want to impress me on criminal justice reform, okay, I get it, right? We get, somebody gets shot. We make it a big thing. We talk about that one person in that one situation for like a whole month. And that's cool, but that's good for that one person. Their family gets taken care of. Ben Crump gets a check. Then you go to the next shooting. It's like a repetitive, redundant ceremony. Right. It's like, and I'm looking for long-term changes. I don't see that, right? What I want to see is something like this, right? We're going to allocate $10 billion to hiring 50,000 lawyers who are going to go back and review, I don't know what the 300,000 cases from going all the way back to the 90s to find out if these people were over sentenced. And so that means if you got locked up in 1996 on a drug charge and they gave you, I like one guy I know got 14 life sentences. He ain't seen his family since 1988. Let him the fuck out. Like, and don't just let him out. Let out 50,000 people. Like, that's a change. That to me is substance. That's real. When you let out one person, because Trump did this. Trump let out one lady. She had a really terrible situation. She had, Al or something. She had done 20 years and she didn't deserve to go to prison at all. And they marketed one lady's case. And I'm like, that's one person. Don't do that. Tell me where you let out 50,000 people or 100,000 people. That's how because when Biden was talking about that crime bill, man, if you go back and listen to Biden and the way he really went in, he doubled down on that racist language, man, where he was like, we got to there's 100,000 of these kids out here, these super predators. We got to take them out of society. So he wants to go like scorched earth. We want to spend $10 billion on prisons and cops to put 100,000 cops on the street to take out 100,000 young people. That is a broad effort. So when you're trying to clean up a broad effort, you need an equally strong broad effort, an equally broad effort in the other direction to reverse the damage of what you did. If a fucking tornado tears down my whole goddamn house, I can't clean that up with a mop and a toothpick. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. I got to do construction, heavy construction to rebuild that house. And that's what they're doing. They blew a tornado through the Black community and destroyed our whole house. And they try to clean it up with a damn toothpick, or they bring it over a bologna sandwich. They're like, okay, we even now, right? No, we're not, right? So I think that's what we got to look for, man. I really think that our smartest people, man, and our strongest activists need to be the ones guiding the discussion, not these white liberals, man. Because I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna let you talk, man. I'm gonna shut up after this.
No, actually, I like hearing you talk because it's just so goddamn smooth. I just keep on going. I like to hear you talk, man.
Okay, cool. I'm trying, man. I don't know. I'm sure I got some dental stuff done, so I'm getting used to talking this way. But right. The last point I'll make on that, man, is that like these conversations have to come from us. They don't listen to us. You see, what happens is that these Democratic Party leaders And the Republicans do the same thing. I don't talk about the Republicans much because I never thought about being a Republican. Now, when I start talking about Republicans a lot, that's when you got to worry, because that means I'm thinking about giving them my vote. Because I'm gonna talk about whoever owes me something. I'm gonna talk about them. If you owe me money, I'm gonna talk about the person who owes me money. I don't ask for money.
About when you're talking about the Democratic Party is because you've been harmed. You feel like the Democratic Party owe you something because you've been loyal to the Democratic Party to an extent, and so you feel like they owe more. And these people over here don't care about you one way or the other anyway. But these motherfuckers over here is faking and fronting like they really care. So you feel like, we have been loyal to a fault to the Democratic Party. And we have not been compensated for that loyalty. That loyalty has not been reciprocated. And so there must be a fair exchange, in goods and services. And we have not been given a fair exchange. So I understand why, you go in on them like that. I mean, I go in on them the same way. You're just, I think, more consistently outspoken about going in on them. You light them up, you be lighting them up consistently. But I'm not mad at you, man, because I think that all of us, we have to deal with it the way we've all been injured to an extent, right? And so we deal with it the best way that we know to deal with it. But I know who you are as a man. I know your heart. So I know oftentimes that you're challenging your audience when you put out certain things. Oftentimes you're challenging. You throw something out there. Hey, what y'all think about this? And you already got the answer. You already know what the answer is. Throw it out there.
You know what? You know what I know, man. I know what I think about it, right? And I don't go into the conversation assuming that I'm right, and I don't go in assuming that people are gonna understand my perspective, right? So I really listen to Black people, man. Like people, sometimes somebody make a smart ass comment like, are you on Trump's payroll or whatever? And I think one of my friends said that. She was joking, but I said, first of all, number one, Black people need to be on somebody's payroll. Like, we need to be getting something out of this voting shit. Whoever the fuck, like that's the problem. We ain't on nobody's payroll. That's why we broke as a community. So as a community, we need to be receiving something for our vote, not individually, but collectively. But then number two, I said, I don't really talk to politicians. I just don't. It's my personal bias. I said, I don't talk to Democrat politicians. I don't talk to Republican politicians. I talk to Black people. And that's where the conversations need to originate, because nobody really talks to Black people. Like, they go to Black people and they tell Black people what to do. And that to me is about the most degrading, insulting nonsense I've ever seen in my life, man. That's some bullshit.
You know what I see? What really run me hot, man? I see a lot of people. I do see a lot of people from both sides, from Black Republicans and Black Democrats who are in leadership positions. Maybe they're a politician or they are, but especially like journalists and people that are bloggers and stuff like that. They talk in a condescending manner towards Black people. These pundits, the political pundits and stuff. They're very condescending. Check this out. See, you want us to be on the plantation because you think Black people are stupid. When they say you think Black people are stupid, that is them using psychology on the Black people that they really think are stupid, so that Black person can ride with what they're thinking. Because if I say they think you're stupid, what are you going to do? No, I'm not stupid. No, I ain't stupid. So I want to be on that side because you recognize that I'm not stupid. And bam, that's a play. A lot of them use, pay attention to how some of them talk. They love to say shit like that. They think Black people can't think for themselves. They think Black people are stupid. They think black people this, and so a lot of times these pundits and bloggers and hosts and journalists, when they're talking about black people, they talk in a condescending manner, like they're above the black people that they're talking to, like they're above the audience that they're talking to. But so there's certain trigger words, as you said, that they use to reel them in, to reel black people in that are not critical thinkers. You dig?
Yeah.
So, but I like how you do the show when you come out, man, and it's very upfront when you say, yeah, this is for smart black people.
Yeah.
This is if you dumb, don't come on in. And you know what? Why the reason why I like that though is because it clears the way. It lets people know we're finna have an intelligent conversation over here. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times people like to come on the platform and they like to just come in and say stupid stuff and make comments that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. So I often watch your comment section, and a lot of the people that are in your comment section seem to have a pretty good grip on reality. Now, of course, you got your fair share of trolls. I've seen them. I've seen the trolls also, but for the most part, most of the people that are in your comment section usually seem like they have a pretty good understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, man. Well, I feel like I feel like black people need some people that are not gonna insult their intelligence. I believe in challenging people to think up. Let's learn how to play chess instead of checkers. Mm-hmm. And one thing I found, man, that really surprised me is and it really helped me. I have a lot of respect for soldiers. I don't disrespect soldiers because I think it takes a lot for somebody, to put their life on the line that way. And I think you need soldiers. And I noticed that a lot of people that follow the platform are in the military. And I couldn't understand that. And I remember, because I had an event, man, out in Seattle or somewhere, and I just invited some people to come in. And I think 80% of the people that were there were veterans. And shout out to the veterans, by the way, who were watching. And I said, so what is it about the veterans? I said, I'm not a veteran. My father was, and I have respect, but I never did that. And one of them said that we like the fact that you don't just complain about a problem. You talk about solutions. You talk about strategies. And that's something that this person at least felt that he said, I relate to that. I relate to having a strategy. I want to know how we're going to fix this shit. How we're going to make things better. How we're going to fight back. I don't want to hear about how oppressed I am. And, like you said that one time that made me laugh. You said, how are you empowering me by telling me I ain't got no power?
Right.
I remember the day you said, I was talking to you on the phone. I was walking down the street. I was actually in Seattle. And you said that, and I just cracked up because that's what we do. We have these people that are claiming to empower black people, and all you're doing is telling them why they can't do shit on their own. That makes you a white supremacist. You're arguing every day like you can't do anything without white people. You need their help. You need their help. No, we could use their help. They owe us their help. But shit, if they don't deliver their help, I'm still gonna figure it out.
Yeah, and stop right there. So I have an idea why soldiers follow you, because soldiers, for the most part, are disciplined, and most soldiers, they have a certain accountability swag, right? You come on this channel, then like you're moving forward and you're moving people forward, challenging people to think, challenging people to grow. And so I think that's a draw for soldiers. But going to your last point, can you finish? Because I want to backdoor. I think I cut you off.
No. Actually, I was done. I made my point. I think overall, I guess it's different strokes for different folks, right? Different people are just built different ways, right? You got some people that are smarter than others, some people that are more determined than others, some people that are willing to play hardball, some people want to play softball, some people have courage, some people have fear. And And we all have, I think we all have fear, but I think that we all respond to fear in different ways. For some people, fear puts you in a cage. Like they, you know, and the Republicans know this, right? They know that black people, there are a lot of black people who are just scared all the fucking time. So their goal is right. Right, that old bug-eyed slave, like all bosses, they gonna come get us, you know. Like I remember when Biden said one time, he said, if you let the Republicans win the election, they'll have y'all back in chains. Right? Like ain't gonna fucking have it. What are you talking about? You know, like
and here's the thing, Boyce. Going back to what Cube said, we survived worse than Trump. So that Trump is not the boogeyman. All of these motherfuckers been the boogeyman. You know, every single president we've ever had, ain't none of them. You know, ain't none of them, none of them have really went to bat for black folks. And we can't say, man, they did something for us and we had a good run while this guy was president. You know, we had a damn good run. We can't really say that. And when I say a good run, I'm not just talking about an economic good run. You know, when has black people really felt free? When in this country, like, because there's a difference between freedom and liberation. When has black people really felt free, really felt safe in this country? When have we really felt safe? So even when you got money, you know, you live in a gated community. Even when if you reach a billionaire status, you're still B1 in this country. You're B1 in this country. So it's like when Trump first became president. First of all, like most people that's civilized, I was shocked. I was totally shocked.
Me too.
I was actually at a Fox local in Houston, and I was covering the election. And no, I wasn't at Fox local. I was at a CW local in Houston. So I'm covering the election, and I'm looking at the numbers coming. I'm like, it took the wind out of me, bro. I was like, this goofy ass motherfucker, this goofy, dumb, lying, thieving ass nigga about to be the president. I'm like, oh man. But I caught my snap the way I always catch my snap. And I said, it doesn't matter at the end of the day who the president is. Ain't none of them gonna stop me from getting mine. Ain't not one of them gonna stop my grind. But it's important what Cube said when he said that we have survived worse than Trump. Trump wants to be a slave owner. We've survived slave owning presidents for real. We've actually survived presidents who owned slaves. A whole 95% of a Congress that owned slaves at one point. Yep. You know, and that's why it was so hard to get rid of slavery. The whole damn Congress had owned slaves. You know, all the banks, Chase Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo owned slaves. You know, the Ivy League colleges owned slaves. So this is why it was so hard. All your major institutions own slaves, including churches. Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about them Catholic churches that own slaves. So this is why it was so hard to get rid of it, because you know, slavery, white supremacy is woven into the fabric of America. But we've survived worse. And, you know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day who the president becomes, you know, who emerges as the president. We'll survive no matter what. We will survive because we're the most resilient people on planet Earth. You know, if most people had to face, if most races had to face the things that we faced in this country, they would be extinguished. You know what I'm saying? We'd probably be down to just black folks as a race, period. Black folks, it would be only black people on the whole planet, because the other races, they just kill themselves. They go, oh, hell no, we can't go through this shit. I can't. We can't survive. Oh, no, hell no. You know? Like, so, and that's the thing that people have to understand. Like, we're resilient, but people have to understand, and we kick ass, bro. We have millions of success stories. They just try to make us concentrate on the biggest of the biggest success stories, but we have millions of success stories where we've created, successful lawyers and doctors and scientists and entrepreneurs and mothers and fathers who work their backs, to a grind for 30, 40, 50 years so that they could break the generational curses and send their children to school so that they can have a better life than they had. That's a success story. When you've been given nothing, when you've been denied an education and you were able to save your pennies and put them together and send that baby to college, that's a success story. But they try to make us feel bad about ourselves and act like we can't do it. So that's why it's important to have these spaces like we have, so we can control our own image. So we can counter this BS that they got out here, that they put out here on a daily basis, all through America, all through American media about us. It's important that we have these spaces to dialogue and counter these negative images and thoughts that they project on society about Black people. So we have survived worse than Trump, and we've survived worse than Biden. And so it doesn't matter which one of them emerge as the president, we will survive. And not only will we survive, we will thrive, because that's what we do.
And let me say this, man. And by the way, everybody who's watching, I'm sure you know that this is Willie D, who's here. I think you should subscribe to his channel. If you haven't done it yet, it's Willie D Live. He's Willie D Live on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Everybody, could you take 1 second, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. And also don't forget, next weekend is the All Black National Convention. We got a long list of really powerful people coming through to talk about everything from Black economics to Black relationships to Black politics and everything in between. Everybody from Nuri Muhammad to Vicky Dillard, Tariq Nasheed, a lot of great people. So go to allblacknationalconvention.com. You can get your tickets there. Allblacknationalconvention.com is going to be virtual, so you can watch from your home, bring your family, all that stuff. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it. One thing I'll say, man, about what you're saying in terms of this political conversation, this is something where I think we really got a great opportunity, particularly with the great work that Ice Cube is doing and people that are supporting him. And I'm a little confused. I wish more people that have these, 10 million, 20 million Instagram followers would step out and just say, look, Cube is my friend. I support what he's doing. I'm kind of stunned that a lot of these people that, those mainstream types haven't done more of that, but that's another conversation. But I'll say this, this is a good opportunity in the sense that, when you talk about a negotiation, when you talk about what's happening right now is whether no matter what the outcome of the election is, Black people have already won the election. Do y'all hear that? I want everybody in the chat to give me a yes or no if you hear what I'm saying. Black people have already won this fucking election. Let me tell you why you already won the election. The reason you already won the election is because intelligent Black people, conscious Black people, real Black people out here like you and I, we have made our voices heard. Like we have pushed the conversation. When you start seeing those uppity elite Negroes getting nervous and foot shuffling and getting pissed off and cussing you out, that means that you have pretty much put pressure on them. That's when people holler, it's because you hit the dog in the head with a rock, he's gonna scream. Like when you hit an infection with some disinfectant, you hit a scab with some disinfectant, it's gonna sting. So they kind of reacting, they're flaring up, just like a virus or a fungus flares up when you put the disinfectant on. So you're shining the light on the way they've been treating you. I've heard from people, insiders in the Democratic Party, who have said that it's easier now for them to get their attention because of what you're doing out here. So don't believe for 1 second that they're going to ignore you forever. They can't do it. It's not going to work. Now, so that's why I say Black people have already won the election. The 2024 ain't going to be like 2020. They're going to have different conversations because they're going to know they're dealing with a more educated, a more active, a more courageous constituency. So give yourself a round of applause on that, because these things take time. Give yourself a round of applause.
Good point. That's a good point.
Second thing I'll say, yeah, man, yeah, I'm very proud of Black people right now.
That's a good point.
Man. And the second thing is this, right? With a negotiation, here's the deal. When you're negotiating, it's a lot like I play a lot of poker. I don't know, you can play poker like Texas Hold'em, anything like that?
I don't gamble, man.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not into gambling, but I love poker because it's a great game of psychology, strategy, and math. Like if you're in a poker tournament where it starts with 800 people and you get down to like the last 8, out of 792 out of 800 people are gone. Every person at that table is like sharp as fuck. Like everybody, like they know how to take in information, they know how to send information, they know how to deceive, they know how to trap, trick, all that shit, right? And so I'm a pretty good poker player, man. I took it up as a hobby and I really fell in love with it. I don't play as much as I used to, but I love it. Why do I bring that up? Well, because a lot of poker is a negotiation. And one thing about poker is the cards in your hand don't matter as much as how you play the card and how you communicate with the motherfucker across the table. So when you're dealing with somebody across the table in poker, there's a few basic things that you do and things you don't do, right? So one thing that you do is when you're dealing with somebody, you always have to make sure that you lean leverage in your favor. So for example, if I'm sitting and I'm dealing with somebody, and I don't know if they have a better hand than me or not, we're feeling each other out. One thing I do not allow is I do not allow them to get me on the defensive. Where they're bullying me, they're betting big and I'm just matching the bet. I'm barely holding on, right? I'm backpedaling, right? Because the thing about it is you can't score points. Like sports, it's hard to score points on defense. Right. You score points on offense, right? And that translates to politics. One of the rules that like the dirtiest Republicans, like the really smart ones that, that were able to win elections with dirty shit, one rule they have is that you never defend, you always attack. So when somebody attacks you, you don't spend all your time getting defensive and getting scared and shit. You counterattack. You go at, they exploit your vulnerability, you exploit their vulnerability. And in poker, it's like that. So if somebody raises you to try to intimidate you, you don't fucking match the bet. You either fold and walk away or you raise that motherfucker. Right? You say, okay, I'm going to re-raise your raise. And now I got you scared. You worried about what I got now. And at the end of the day, if you're more worried about what I have than I am about what you have, then I'm going to win even if I have worse cards than you because I'll scare you into folding your shit. Black people don't know that. Black people will negotiate as a collective. When we negotiate with the Democrats, we'll let them trigger us. We'll let them push our insecurity. Well, Trump if he get elected, he gonna kill you. Well, you know that this is going. If you don't elect us, then you're gonna be in big trouble, right? And we'll get all nervous and bucky-eyed and well, shoot balls. I don't want that to happen. So okay, you can have my vote. You can have my vote. You're not supposed to do that. What you do is when they come to you and they say, well, if you don't show up and vote, we're gonna get another 4 years of Trump. My response is, well, Trump is your fucking problem. He's not my problem. I can survive another 4 years of Trump. I did the first 4. I can do the next 4. As you mentioned, we survived presidents that owned slaves. So Donald Trump is not worse than whatever our ancestors survived. So we're built for this. We can wait all fucking day. Now, so if you want to get Trump out of office, which apparently that must scare the shit out of you, then it sounds to me like you better do what's right for Black people. Because I want to give you my vote. I want to support you. But if you don't come correct, then I guess you're going to have to deal with another 4 years of Trump. You keep them on the defensive. You go at them. You don't let them fucking scare you. Trump is their problem. He's not your problem. And I think that for Black people, we got to, too many Black people will literally drop everything, give up every fucking negotiating point that they had, everything that you wanted. You'll throw all that to the side because they pretty much have got you so scared of Donald Trump that you will give away all of your opportunity for progress in exchange for protection from a guy that can't really hurt you. I mean, you've gone through a whole lot of shit as Black people. I mean, we survived the fucking Middle Passage. We survived 250 years of the worst slavery in the history of mankind. We survived 100 years of Jim Crow. We survived 50 years of mass incarceration. You're going to tell me we can't survive 4 years of Donald Trump? Come on, man. Yeah. Seriously. Go ahead, Willie. I'll let you get the last one. Thanks for listening.
One of the things is that I heard people saying that, well, why did Q wait this long, like the Democrats. He said he met with the Democrats for Biden's people, and he met with Trump's people. Trump's people adjusted their so-called platinum plan that he ain't gonna never deliver on, but they adjusted it, you know, for optics, I guess. And then, but, you know, the Democrats said, hey, man, we'll talk to you after the election. So I know DL had said that the reason why they didn't meet, because they can't do nothing. They're not empowered. They can't do anything. But they could have done something. They could have put a plan together and say, this is what we plan on doing if we get in. That's what you do. It's part of your platform. That's what you say, you know, like that is part of, you know, your plan. Like, it's just like when Biden was running and he talked about all of these things that he was going to do for America. He's not the president, but he talked about all these things that he would do once he gets in. So he could have easily drew out a little plan for Black folks and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the contract with Black America. This is what I'm going to do. You know, you know what I'm saying? You know, so he could have done that. I mean, you know, the Democrats could have wrote a plan out. And that would have been a whole lot better than saying, than knowing that Trump got a platinum plan for so-called, he ain't gonna deliver, but that would have been better than knowing that he got something and you don't. Put something there, you know, you got to put something there, even just a placeholder or something, goddamn it, just something to put something there, put something there so that the people can believe, so that the people can see that you do care and that you are serious about getting the Black vote and also helping Black people, you know, get to where we're trying to go, not just during the election cycle, but beyond the election cycle. You know, that would have went a long ways if they had put a plan together. If they would have said, okay, well, what's his platinum plan? Well, shit, we're gonna at least match it. You dig what I'm saying? We or you know what? Instead of 500 billion, man, we you know what? Yeah, fuck it, make it $1 trillion. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. We're gonna make it $1 trillion. We'll make it $1 trillion. We 5 billion. Because hey, man, look, they coming up with this. Let me ask you a question. They coming up with this money. They coming up with the stimulus money. They pulling this stimulus money out of the sky. Oh, they ain't never had no money, but all of a sudden they pulling trillions of dollars from everywhere. Trillions of dollars coming from all over the place. You ain't got $1 trillion sitting over there for us. And you know, in fact, you know, yeah, you ain't got $1 trillion.
But let me ask you this too. You know, and you're right. You're right. The biggest critique I had about Trump's platinum plan was, I said, okay, he's been in office 4 years. Like he could have did a lot of this shit the first 4 years he was in office. So there's no credibility there. We know that. But if I recall, I'm trying to remember, there was a guy in the White House from 2008 to 2016. I can't remember his name, and he had a vice president. What was it? Barack Obama. That's right. We had Barack Obama in office from 2008 to 2016, and his vice president was Joe Biden during that time. And I remember thousands of Black people screaming, like, you got to do something about Black unemployment. They didn't respond. You got to do something to help the Black communities. They didn't respond. You know, and so what it really just says, man, is at the end of the day, right, none of these politicians give a fuck, right? And I mean, that's just it, right? I hope we can at least start the conversation there, right? The Republicans don't give a fuck. The Democrats don't give a fuck. Politicians react when you make them react. You know, getting money out of these politicians it's like a bill collector that's trying to get student loan payments out of somebody who's already broke, you know, who's living paycheck to paycheck. You ain't gonna get that money by being nice. You know, like I remember, you know, when I was broke, when the bill collectors would call me, you weren't gonna get my money, but on the honor system, just me, you know, saying, I would say whatever I need to say to get you off the phone because I had bills to pay. I had other priorities with my money, right? I wasn't gonna give you my last dollar. You had to get that money by playing hardball. You had to really put your foot on my fucking neck. And the one who pressed the hardest was the one who got the fucking money. So with Black people, the question we must ask ourselves, is, are we willing to pay hardball? You know, or do we have so much of a Stockholm syndrome? Do we love these white people so much that we start to feeling sorry for them? I mean, think about it, right? You know, when you go, when a bill collector is asking people for money that they owe, they like, oh, well, I would pay it, but I got this problem and that problem and this, that, and that, right? So people can give you sob stories, and if they think you'll take the sob story, then that's what they're gonna feed you every time. But when you say, fuck you, pay me, like, fuck you, those are your problems, those are not my problems, fuck you, pay me, then you can force the issue. So I think for Black people, we gotta be some bill collectors up in this motherfucker. Like, I think we gotta go to the Democrats and Republicans, just go to the government, the biggest white supremacist institution in the history of this country is the federal government. Go to the government, and our attitude should be, fuck you, pay me. When they say, well, we got the national debt is too big, fuck you, pay me. Well, our annual budget's only $3 trillion. Fuck you, pay me. Well, we need y'all to vote so we can no, fuck you, pay me. Right. And then at that point, you just say, I'm sorry, I hate to take my vote away from you. I want to give you my vote, but fuck you, pay me. Pay me and you'll get the vote. Right. That's it. I mean, anybody who's ever collected money from somebody knows what I'm talking about. I just think about business situations, man, where we would negotiate with somebody that owes it, and you know it. I mean, you've been in the hip hop game. You know, think about it, man. Think about how many times you had some guy that was running a record label who swore he didn't have your money. And what do some of those dudes have to do? Tupac, Cube, a lot of these guys had to go in with fucking baseball bats, guns, whatever the fuck, and be like, you're about to go find my fucking money, right? Am I lying or am I telling the truth? Well, give me your thoughts on that.
No, you're on the money. I mean, you're on the money. It's simple. Like, I just know, like, I mean, that's a good analogy, man. Like, I want my money, bro. Like, I got to get that money, because I look at that money like my money, like that ain't really my money. That's my baby's money. You know, that's my kids' money, man. And everything I do, you know, is for them ultimately. So, man, I got to defend it with everything, you know, like I'm already a beast for my own money, but you start messing with my baby's money. Oh man, you know, everything tied to that. You know, so I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror if I allowed somebody to take my baby's money. You know, I can't look in the, I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I got to settle that. You know, I got to make that right. So I got that attitude, like I got to have it. Yeah. What I want to know is, like, what do you think about? What do you say to like Black people who have that attitude, like reparations ain't gonna never happen?
You know what? They could be right. It ain't never gonna happen if we don't never fight for it. That's it. I mean,
this is why I think reparations is gonna happen. What was worse than reparations for us as a people? Slavery.
What you mean? What was worse
slavery?
than slavery?
What was the greatest atrocity ever committed against us in this country was slavery, first and foremost.
Right.
There were Black people that were saying, well, you know, slave, they ain't gonna never let us free. We's never gonna be free. Now those were the buck dancers, but then there were also solid Black people who were honorable, who thought it would never happen, right? They thought, man, it's never going to happen. Stop talking like that. You know, stop talking like that. That's not going to happen, you know? But with all the money tied to slavery, with all of the capitalism that was afforded to those who took advantage of a people's suffering, I mean, the greatest suffering known to man, it ended. Black people were finally, you know, freed in this country, you know, after hundreds of years, you know, of servitude, free. So if freedom can come to enslaved human beings, being us, then reparations can damn sure come. So I think that reparations is on the way. Just like a black president caught us off guard, I think reparations is going to catch a lot of people off guard. This is going to happen. You know, like a lot of things happen in this country, man, and you never, the biggest movements that happen in this country are not even things that the public are even aware of until they actually go down. It's like, oh shit, it's happening. Like, oh man, they gonna do this. They doing this. They, you know, damn, you know. So I think that's how reparations is gonna happen. I think that that's a conversation that is inescapable. They have no choice. They have no choice, but because people, the conversation is not going to go away. The conversation is only getting louder, you know, by the day. That's not going away. Now, does it mean, in my opinion, you know, it doesn't mean, you know, no reparations right now, no vote. Because I kind of look at the things that we need, all of the things that we need in this country. I look at it like there's levels to the things that we need. And we ain't gonna get all those things at one time. We need reparations. We need police reform. You know, we need prison reform. We need education reform. Shit, we need reform across the damn board. You know, we need credit reform. We need employment reform. We need reform on so many levels. So I kind of liken it to a record contract, right? You know your value, but when you sign a record contract, it's a give and take situation. You know, like, so for instance, when you first sign your record contract, you might try to go and get yourself 20 points, but you might ask for 30 points, but you might end up settling for 12 points. You may ask for the record label to pay for the video, but y'all settle on the record company paying half and you paying half. You may want your publishing. Record company say, man, you know, I got you by the balls right now. We want that publishing. And if you want this contract, then that's what it is. And then you just say, you know what, all right, man, I'll give it to you as long as I get on. I'm in the door. I got some of the things that I wanted. I'm in the game. I'm an artist. I'm putting out music. Then you re-up after a couple of albums or so. You prove yourself. You show your work. You in the game. They know your value. They can't even afford to lose you. They got to play ball, and you going to the highest bidder. Okay, now you getting that 20 points that you wanted. Now you done bought your publishing back, or you getting your publishing going forward. Now you got the record company paying for the video all together. Well, they ain't gonna go that far, but you see where I'm going with it, right? So, you know, it's levels to it. And, you know, like, we're not in a situation like a bunch of little kids where we can see, you know, vote, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, though, if that's how somebody feel, then again, I can't blame them, because, you know, we just been given a shitty deal in this country. And so I can't blame a person for feeling the way that they feel about voting. I can't blame a Black person for feeling the way that they feel. Whether they feel like they got to and they're desperate, they feel like they just gotta vote, or whether they saying, man, I'm gonna hold my vote, fuck them, I ain't voting for neither one of them. You know, I can't blame them. I cannot blame them, because, man, you know, desperate situations calls for desperate measures. And, you know, I can't tell people how to feel or how they should react to this damn pain, this violence that have been perpetrated against us. You know, we have received a shitty deal. We've given more to this country than any group of people that have ever come here. There's no immigrants that ever came here that's contributed more to this country. We built this motherfucker. Let's get that straight, okay? We ain't talking about, you know, from the 1900s to 1800s, but no, we've been in here building this country. We built it from ground up, you know? So I'm not trying to discount anything or discredit anything that other groups have contributed to this country. But let's don't ever forget who laid the foundation, who built the foundation to this country. This country was built off the backs of blacks. Free labor for hundreds of years, no compensation. You know, and let's not forget that between all of that, there was a whole lot of murdering of blacks, lynching, murdering babies, not just men, not just women, not just children, babies, infants. They murdered, okay? They raped, not just women, not just little girls, but they raped men and boys. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that they sold black families, busted up the families, sold them to other slave owners. They sold human beings. They busted the family up. They raped our women and they made babies that they made bastards. White men are the original deadbeat dads. We got to straighten this shit out. Let's get it straight, baby. Let's talk let's talk real. So when you start trying to call black men out who perhaps may not have their shit together for the last 40, 50 years, let's remember y'all got y'all centuries ahead of us with this deadbeat dad shit, you know, this fatherless child shit. How many black babies that have black white men created that they left fatherless, that they sold their own children. They sold their children, baby. They sold them to other people, to ship them off to other plantations and towns and states. They sold them. Some of them killed their own children. They killed them. Mm. They enslaved their own children. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't tell me shit about no black man not taking care of his responsibilities. And if anything we've possibly learned that we've shorted our babies, we learned it from you. Mm. And even then we ain't got it down because we'll never catch up with the savagery of what they did to us. Mm. We'll never catch up with that. And we ain't trying to catch up with it. No. Because it's a whole lot of us doing a whole lot better, a whole lot more than what they're trying to give us credit for. Most of the black men that I know personally are deeply involved in their children's lives. I don't even hang out with dudes who don't deal with their children, who ain't good fathers. I don't even hang out with them kind of dudes. I don't even befriend them. Because I know if you don't give a damn about your child, I know you don't give a damn about me. There you go. I don't even mess with those type of dudes. So most of the guys that I know, even the guys in my family, we all are men of valor, man. We ride for our babies. We take care of them babies. We are with our children. We talk to our children. We coach our children. We teach our children. We nourish our children. We counsel our children. You can't tell me shit about black men and our responsibilities. Now, if you got a bad experience or two or what, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or however many you got, that's on you. But the ones that I know, most of the ones I know are good fathers. So all of this stuff about black men, this and trying to drag us and put us down and all that shit, man, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. We some bad mothers. Shut your mouth.
Well, I love it, man. I think it's a good way to finish up the conversation. So everybody in the chat, let's make this an active exercise. Everybody in the chat, if you know a black man who is a good man, who's doing great things in his life, say his name in the chat. Say the name of somebody that you love, who's a strong black man, say his name. You know, let's start saying the names of the men that we respect. Let's elevate the black man. The black man is reclaiming his place on the throne. You know, I was saying this earlier to somebody, and I believe it to the core of my heart that you know, we are in the middle of a revolution. I told you, black people have already won this election. We made our point. We made our voice heard. We're gonna keep on doing that. Number two, the black man. What you're seeing right now is the natural chaos that occurs when there is a shift in power. You know, when there's a shift, whenever you have an earthquake, it's because the plates of the earth are moving, right? The tectonic plates are moving. The volcanoes are coming up, and all those other mountains are being displaced, and so you're gonna have some disruption. So right now, that disruption that you see is the reemergence of the black man to his place on the throne, and so it is up to our community. Our future of our community is up to us. We decide what that future is going to be. The Democrats don't decide it. The Republicans don't decide it. We decide that. We're going to get reparations when we decide it. We're going to make things happen in our community when we decide it. Our families will come back together when we decide it. So make that decision, and let's start by cheering on the black men and the black women as well, because you know we got some strong sisters out here that are really doing the damn thing. Let's cheer on those black folks, and let's put that throne up and put them in the throne. You know, so shout out the black man. We're focusing on black men because of what Willie just said. Shout out the name of some black man that you love who was there for you when nobody else was, because we need to start controlling the narrative of how our men are perceived and portrayed all throughout the world. So that's my last thought, man. Willie, I want to say thank you, man, for coming through. It's always an honor to have you, brother. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. It's been a very spirited discussion, and you know, I appreciate you for giving me the platform, man, to speak.
Yeah, brother. Well, you know what? The door's always open, and it's great to have a great ally down in Houston, man. That's one of my favorite cities, and it's in my top 2 or 3. You know, I feel like I'm at home every time I go to Houston. And shout out to everybody.
And that's because you are. That's because you are, man. I'm gonna give me a new place, man. So next time you come down here, man, you know, I put a room aside for you.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Well, I will be there to claim that spare bedroom, man. And thank you, brother, for the invitation. And I'm bringing Alicia down, and I know we always have fun. And thank you all for watching. And some of you I saw made donations in the super chat. I want to say thank you for doing that. I didn't want to interrupt my brother while he was speaking, so that was why I didn't say anything through the conversation. But I did see you, and I want to say I acknowledge you. Thank you so much for your support. Also, if you could, 2 things. 1, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it yet. Number 2, All Black National Convention is next weekend. So if you are B1, you believe in building the community, then this convention is for you. It's not one of these other conventions that's brought to you by McDonald's or sponsored by Walmart. There is no corporate sponsorship for this convention. This is funded by Black people. It's for Black people. And we're going to have a lot of great Black people, from Vicky Diller to Tariq Nasheed and Constance Carter, who's a real estate mogul, all kinds of brilliant Black people that can help you elevate in a lot of ways. And I hope you guys will join us. It's going to be virtual. If you want to get a ticket, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. All right, guys, take care. Have a good night. And thanks again, Willie, man. It's good seeing you, brother.
Absolutely.
All right, my man. Take care.
Old talk.